Hello, everyone, and welcome back to That's So Matthew. I am so excited to have my friend Abby here with me today. Say hi.
Hello.
And today we are here to talk about the 2010 Disney Channel original movie Avalon High, which I'm so excited for.
And same here.
So I was trying to find guests for March, and I don't really know how we figured this out, but I might have probably came to you, probably did. And then you were like, yeah, sure, whatever. I'll talk about anything. And so I asked my followers, the listeners, what they wanted to hear. And so this was someone sent this in, and I had never seen it before. I heard really bad things about it, honestly. And so I was like, okay, I'll send it. And then when you said that you wanted to do it, I was like, oh, okay. Cause I was kind of maybe worried that it might not be good. No, it was so good. Really, frankly.
It was, yeah.
It was very good. I think it's so underrated. And that's why I'm so excited to talk about it today. But as we always do here on the podcast, before we get into it, Abby, if you have a fun fact about yourself that you would like to share with the listeners.
Of course, yeah. So we were talking a little bit about what are fun things, and obviously this is a Disney podcast, and you can't like Disney without Disney. So I am a huge Disney nerd, very much into like the park side of things. And I know last time I mentioned that I was Lion King.
Yes, Lion King
I
represent.
was obsessed with Lion King, and I'm also obsessed with the Haunted Mansion. So
love the Haunted Mansion.
That's another fun obsession.
It is.
I don't
my
have problems.
Favorite. Yeah, you don't have problems at all.
I don't have problems at all.
I love the Haunted Mansion. It is my personal favorite ride at Disney. I go on it so many times. The last time I went to Disney was 3 years ago, I believe, and I just went on the Haunted Mansion like so many times. I'm obsessed. I have a shirt. I have my Madame Leota and the one girl that's sitting on a log with a rose, Funko Pop, sitting rather close to me, and my Haunted Mansion phone case. So we're all decked out. We love the Haunted Mansion. That's so exciting. And so I guess the first thing is I want to offer a quick update to the listeners before I do my fun fact that actually goes with the Disney parks. So I actually didn't mention this to Abby, but you'll be hearing this for the first time. But I'm going to be on a podcast, the By Youth for Youth podcast, where they talk about different kinds of careers. And they're going to be interviewing a Disney Imagineer, and I'm going to be guest hosting on that episode. I have not recorded it yet, but I think it should be out by the time this is out, so go check it out. It's going to be really awesome.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
And so, yeah, we had our little prelim call because I was really scared. So I was like, can we do a call really quick to figure it out? Because this will be my first time on another podcast. But I'm so excited. Go check it out. I'll have it linked in the show notes below. If it's out, I think it should be, but you never know. And then my other fun fact ties in with the movie a little bit. So there's a quote that is from Marco. He's like, you should be really more careful sometimes. When you get too close to something you shouldn't, you get burned, which is a quote from the movie. And so yesterday I was making oatmeal because I have a new obsession with oatmeal, which is really weird. I can't explain it whatsoever. And so I was making my oatmeal and I burnt myself and I have a huge blister on my finger. It's so painful. It's so bad. I am just kind of embarrassed. And when I heard that quote, he's like, I think I also did my motivational Monday for that, like more of like a figurative sense, but I got burned. So I thought I would say that.
Well, that's quite topical, I guess.
And I don't know. I'm just like, it's so bad. Like, I have never really burnt myself this bad. Like, I've accidentally touched a light bulb before with the tip of my finger. Not something I recommend. However, I do have a huge burn on my finger. So that's very exciting.
Yeah, that happened once. I was making beignets from Prince and the Frog, and of course, burning oil. You do not want to touch that, and I did. So
you did not. No. That sounds so painful. I'm just thinking, like, my little touching of the bowl seems like nothing compared to that.
It was fun.
Oh my gosh. I'm like just cringing at the thought of that. Oh my. Wow. So I love how we just started sharing burn stories. So I love it. Okay, I need to like catch myself back. Okay, so let's honestly just get into our brief overview of the film. It came out in 2010, 11 years ago. Exciting. And stars Gregg Sulkin, who Gregg Sulkin, he has been in so many things. He was in Wizards of Waverly Place. He was in a show called The Runaways, based off of the Marvel comics. He was in Pretty Little Liars. So many things, and like the one thing I remember him from, and now this might be a little stupid, but I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. The Pass the Plate series that was on Disney Channel where they would like show off all the different like foods from around the world.
Yeah, that's not ringing a bell.
Oh my gosh, I was obsessed with it. But I don't really remember which one he was in, but it was really crazy. And I am just like, it was just so funny. I can't, if you guys know what I'm talking about, let me know on Instagram because I feel like I'm pretty sure it's like banana smoothies or something, honestly. It was
That
like really,
sounds fun.
it was really stupid, but like that's what I remember him from. So yeah. So,
Just talk about banana smoothies.
banana smoothie. Yeah, like I honestly, that's such a random. Like I don't know how that's tied into like the UK because he was supposed to be from the UK. He has an accent, not in this film, not in this movie though, because it takes place in America, which we'll talk a little bit about that in a little bit. But yeah, so Gregg Sulkin as well as Britt Robertson, Joey Polari, as well as Devin Gray. And so it is loosely based off of the 2005 book of the same name by Meg Cabot, which I did not know was based off of a book until prepping for this episode.
Neither did I until 5 seconds ago when you said that.
Yeah, we actually got a question. Well, when I get to the fan questions, someone asked like if we had read the book. So I'm going to tell you that both of us have not read the book since we
Nope.
just did not know about that. And it came out on November 12th, 2012 in the United States, January 22nd in Australia, love Australia, and New Zealand on January 28th, 2011. So, very exciting. And it is about a girl named Allie who is the daughter of two like professors of medieval literature, and she goes to Avalon High to become in a restaged schooling version of the legend of King Arthur, Merlin, and the Round Table. I think that's what it's called.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's very interesting, and it's like in this school, and there's like going to be like a reincarnation. They have to save them. There's like King Arthur, spoiler alert, is going to be reincarnated. Who's it going to be? We're not going to spoil it just yet, but it's really weird. It's really weird. I'm not going to lie. It like the plot, just speaking of it, is a little weird. Like it comes off as weird. However, the execution and the movie was really good.
It was, yeah.
Like, I've always been like a huge Arthur Merlin fan. Like in Once Upon a Time season 5, that I loved that whole storyline. I was just obsessed. I love Once Upon a Time, and I was so obsessed with that. However, I was a little nervous like going into it. Like when I looked at the plot, like I was just so confused. And like from the poster, it looks like real, like you would never guess the plot at all, which I was like, okay. But it was really good, and so that's why I'm excited to talk about it. And I'm not going to waste any more time because now we can get into the plot of the movie, or not the plot, the characters. Starting off with Britt Robertson, who you may recognize from the Dog's Purpose movies that came out. And funny enough, I'm going to tell this story on the podcast because I love embarrassing myself. There was a movie called A Dog's Journey that came out in 2019, and I went on a date to go see that movie. And the movie's very emotional. Don't recommend. And like it was just really awkward. And yeah, the person that was the other half of that date does listen to the podcast. So hey, I'm not going to name drop you or anything, but that movie is definitely not a date movie, and we still laugh about it to this day. But yeah, I knew I recognized her from something, as well as the movie Tomorrowland, which is loosely based off of the Disney Land. I've never seen the movie Tomorrowland before. I don't know if you have, but
I have not, but I have seen Rapunzel's Tangled Adventure. I'm seeing that she's part of that now. I think that's kind of
yes.
fun.
I honestly, she is actually in a lot of things. She was also in the show Little Fires Everywhere. So many things. I love that for her. She's keeping very busy in a lot of different films. So good for her. Love that. And now we can talk about her character, which is Allie, the main character. And frankly, she is like my favorite character, and I guess I have to spoil why she's my favorite character. Like spoil the movie. So basically, in the end, she does end up being the reincarnation of King Arthur, which was really shocking. Frankly, I was really shocked.
Yeah, the one thing that this movie is really good at is it's really good at misdirection.
Oh my gosh. Yes, this whole movie was like one giant misdirection. And then when you got to like the last 10 minutes, so like when everything was revealed, I was so shocked. I was so shocked. And so yeah, the reason I like her is because first off, she's breaking the gender norms because she is the reincarnation of King Arthur. And the entire movie, they're like, oh my gosh, it's gonna be a guy. Which one is it gonna be? But and also like she just has like the most stuff going on. She's flirting with like three different boys at the same time. I like, am I wrong? Because like
I mean,
we
I
got
guess you could say that.
William, and then we got Marco. Marco is like, she's not like actually flirting with him. It's kind of like more of like a mean flirt because he's mean for most of the film. And then Miles, I can't wait to talk about him too. Actually, Miles might be my favorite. I don't know.
Oh yes, Miles is my favorite by far.
I think actually, no, I think Miles is my favorite, but I still really like Allie. And so throughout the film, she is very awkward, I would say. Like at the beginning, she's going to this high school and it's like a reincarnated like version of Camelot in America, which for the entire thing, I thought this movie took place in Camelot, but no, they were in America. And it was really confusing to me, like the whole like timeline and like location of the film. Cause like I thought like she was transported into like another world. But no, it all takes place in America, which made it a lot more confusing to me. I don't know if it was just me.
It's kind of because I mean, you think of Camelot, and you obviously think
Yeah,
of well
that's what I was
Europe,
thinking.
but
I was thinking like she was transported into a different world because there was like one scene where it looked like she was transported there, and then in the end, I think she is transported. So it's really confusing to kind of follow the location. But other than that, I didn't really have much problem following. And so she becomes friends with Will and Miles and Marco. And basically, she's flirting with all of them. And yeah, her parents are kind of annoying a little bit. Like,
her parents are awesome.
okay, I need to clarify because I'm gonna probably get some hate. The parents are awesome. They're like super funny. Like they're like the cool parents. But in the beginning, they were like kind of being really mean to her. Like she was really nervous to go to like this new school, and they're like, "Yeah, just get over it." I was like, "Oh." I did
Oh
have to
well.
say, like some of the things that they like did a little bit were annoying, but overall they weren't that bad, personally. However, like in some parts, I was just like, "Why did they do that?" And like the dad, oh my gosh, the dad's iconic. He
Yes,
reminds
he
me
is.
a lot of my dad, and he is just really socially awkward, and like he tries to like make these dad jokes when like what's Will comes over for burgers. That scene was so hilarious. I love that scene. But
Like he brought a book to a football game, and if I can't relate to anything, I might as
no.
well just like relate to that because
Yeah, you're right. That scene was really iconic. And like the parents are hilarious and they're like super smart. Like they know what they're talking about. Like this is like they're part of an ancient prophecy. Like
mm-hmm.
what more could they ask for, right? And so Allie, really like her. I don't have a lot of problems with her. I just personally felt like they kind of like underrepresented her a little bit. I feel like they were too focused on Gregg Sulkin's character, Will, even though like Allie was the main character and would eventually be I guess you could say the queen, Queen Arthur. Well, I don't know what, I don't know.
I don't
I
know.
slightly still a little confused, but yeah, love her. Great. What did you think, Abby?
I mean, I do think that her she did have a good character, and I guess back to what you said about how I guess heavily represented her character was in the movie. That's another thing, I guess, with that misdirection, because when you think it's going to be Will and like focus so much on Will that you look past her, and until you
Yeah.
get to the end and it's like, wow, like I didn't really think of that in the beginning.
Yeah, now that you actually say it, I feel like I should have picked it up since that like now it makes a lot more sense. Thank you.
Yeah, I going into this movie was a little bit weird because the more that I thought about it and the more that I watched the movie, I could have sworn I've seen it before.
I
And
can't say the same. I definitely had not seen it before.
so either, and I don't know who we're going to talk about next. So either I'm having like, I used to have like psychic visions like Miles did, or I'm just going crazy because with certain aspects, like the twist of, the twist of Mordred at the end, I knew that going in. I didn't know how I knew that,
What?
but
That is so crazy. I did not know. I did
so
not know.
either I'm going insane, which, is always an option, or I did magically see it before and
Oh,
I don't know.
maybe. I know. I definitely was not expecting that. And when they revealed it, when we get to that character, we can talk a little bit about that. But I definitely did not know. So I think that's kind of cool that you were like, oh, you. I'm assuming. It's possible I could have seen it as a kid. However, I don't remember much. I guess from that, like 2010, 2011. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
that's cool.
I doubt I saw it when I was that young,
Yeah,
but
you never
who
know. You
knows?
never know. So yeah, I guess honestly, let's just go to the next character. We probably should have talked about Will first because that was like the only character they ever did anything to, which was very annoying. But Gregg Sulkin's character, Will Wagner, first off, the name is a tongue twister, Will Wagner. But oh, he was kind of annoying because he was like that one kid in every movie that thinks that they are like the hottest thing since sliced bread because he's the quarterback. No shade to the quarterbacks, but also tons of shade. What else? And then he is like dating that one girl, the redhead. I forgot her name.
Jen.
I was yeah, Jen, who and then Jen's like cheating on him, spoiler alert, and like he knows but he doesn't know, but he doesn't care, and he's like then he starts flirting with Allie, and he's supposed to be King Arthur's reincarnation. And like we said, a huge misdirection because I thought it was going to be him because like that was the only character they focused on, which really annoyed me.
Mm-hmm.
But no, Will also was like kind of like socially awkward a little bit. I feel like every character in this movie was a little bit like I felt like everyone was just like thrown into this school for like no reason and they all had to become friends. But he's also super nice to Allie because she's the new kid, which I thought was like super cute. Like, oh, like heartwarming, I guess. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to describe like his personality, like in just like one word. Also, side note, like I don't want to like take points off for this because I think it's super cool. But Greg does have like a British accent, and in this movie, he has an American accent, and to me, it felt very spotty in certain parts.
Yeah.
I don't know if like I'm just being too picky, but I felt like it was just like very like kind of like an on-off thing.
I actually didn't know that he was British, so like I was kind of watching and I was like, oh, like maybe he does have an accent of some sort, but I guess now I know.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I just like I don't want to be like super like picky about it. I don't want to be because like I don't know. I don't want to be like that one person. But really enjoyed his character. What did you think?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, well, I don't know if I did say this before, but I really did enjoy this movie and I did like most everything about it. He did have a pretty good character. You could kind of like see the struggles he was going through, whatever, throughout the movie. One joking point that I was gonna make, and I'm jumping to characters that we didn't talk to again,
That's okay.
but I
Totally
was
fine.
I was really tempted to only write one note on this entire movie, and that was that both Will and Marco look like Edward and Jacob from Twilight. I don't know. Okay,
They do.
I better not have a bunch of like Twilight stands come at me, but
They
I
do. They
can't be the
do.
only one that thinks that.
Honestly, I love the fact that you only wanted to write one note because I could never because I have like short-term memory loss. But no, you're literally right. You're 100% correct. Like I just looked up the Twilight guys and they do.
But like, if I'm gonna have one note, it better be that one.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny because now I can't unsee it. I really see it. I'm like dying over here. But yeah, Will, yeah, oh my gosh. I shouldn't be laughing so much, but I just think the fact that like they look so much alike does.
I know.
Wow. Okay.
It's like
I
I'm trying
promise,
not to
guys.
laugh super loudly so I don't like break your ears to the
Oh no,
microphone.
no. I have like here's the thing, like about Zoom meetings. I don't know if anyone else out there can relate, but like the Zoom meeting audio is so funky because like if you turn it up too much, then you're like being like blasted. But if you turn it down too low, like you can't hear them at all. So like I have like you right in the middle, which is like really weird, but like the Zoom audio is like crazy. So like you wouldn't blast my ears out, but like if you scream, you might.
Okay, I will try not to scream.
Okay. Okay. I believe in you. Okay. Okay. Who I guess let's just talk about Miles up next because Miles
Yes.
love him. So he's played by Joey Polari and he very awkward as well, super nerdy. I hate saying that word because I feel like I'm a nerd, but like he's nerdy. He's supposed to be like the unpopular kid throughout the movie and I really hate when they do that. I really hate when they like make the nerd like the unpopular kid like what are you trying to get at? But he quickly befriends Allie when they have to partner up on this essay to do it on the Order of the Bear or something like that.
Hmm.
And he's like, "Oh, I know nothing." And then he goes over to their house and then they find a book because the parents are professors. He like also makes some very subtle jokes, which I thought were like kind of cute. And he definitely, I feel like, had a crush on Allie throughout the film.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
And then the one thing that he like sets him apart is he has like visions like of the future. One of them would the first one is her tying her shoe, and then there's another one about the ice when he's at her house because she was gonna trip or run into something of the sort. He also has visions of like them being at the theater in the end and stuff. So he's basically the reason that most of the characters are still alive. And I don't know, he's just super like he's so nice. He's like super cute, like a nice friend, like a friend you would want to have. And I feel like I said, he definitely had a crush on her a little bit, but then he like saw like Will because like Will was like always there, like ew. But he was just so nice, and then he does end up being like the reincarnation of Merlin. And he made one line, and I don't have it written down per se, but he's like, Merlin, I can't grow a nose haired, let alone oh, I have it. Doubtful. Merlin had a long white beard. I can barely grow a nose hair. And I thought that was so funny to me. Don't know why, but like I just was
he's
like laughing.
he's so snarky too.
Yeah, he has like
And
kind of like a dry sense of humor in a way. And if that makes sense.
yeah, that's also my kind of humor, so I mean that works.
Yeah, no, really. It does. He was actually probably definitely my favorite looking back now.
Definitely, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Miles. Loved him. Up next, we have Marco Devon Gray. And Marco in the beginning is a what I could describe if we were on a more explicit podcast as an a-hole. However, because we keep it family friendly here on the podcast, I'll just call him a jerk. And he is
Yep.
like the jock of the plot. And he is I don't know. They think that he's going to be that one guy, the Mordred, and he's not. And so like we said, the misdirection in this movie was so good because I honestly thought that he was going to be the Mordred because he was being the jerk the whole time. But that was not
Hmm.
the case. And I feel like he was very like misdirected because then you find out that he was only doing it to protect like
Yeah.
Will, and like I was like, "Oh, that's like super cute, like bros." I don't know. And And so I don't know. I honestly was like really mad at him the entire movie, and like he was always giving everyone a look, and I was like, "Oh, like calm down there, dude." But in the end, I actually feel like I sided with him a lot because he was like in the doing it for the best interest. However, like throughout the movie, he was being such a jerk. Like when he had the note on his shoe, and then on the football field, he was like, "Oh, I don't need that. I have a cheat sheet or whatever." I was like, "Oh, I." He was just so irritating to me, like throughout the entire movie. But then, like in the end, I was like, "Oh wait, I actually like him," which they did a really good job, I think, with like that misdirection, like we said,
Oh yeah.
to like the point where like in the end I was like, oh, I do like him, because then if you go back, like I didn't rewatch it obviously, like from the beginning, but like I was like I could think of like certain instances where it sounded like he was being like really mean, but in the end he was just doing it for the best interest of
Hmm.
both parties, and I liked him. And also he had that quote about burning yourself, and then I burnt myself. So
We don't talk about that anymore.
we don't talk about it. No, it definitely is going to take a little bit to heal, but it's bad.
Yeah.
So, what did you think of Marco, the kind of a hole, but kind of like hero?
Yeah. Again, misdirection was really good. Obviously, unfortunately, as I said before, I couldn't watch the movie for the fullest because clearly, under some mystical power, I knew what was going to happen. Um, so like I knew that he technically wasn't going to be the bad guy, but when they do drop those subtle things in there, and it's kind of like, oh yeah, I did put the cheat sheet under Will's shoe, just to get unnamed character who's really Mordred, to get their trust.
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of like, like, are you sure, or was it just something to keep the suspense of the plot twist? But at the same time, I liked it because it was also again subtle enough because it wasn't blatant, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, it's weird.
I agree. I agree. And I think specifically for his character, I think it was like the weirdest out of
Mm-hmm.
all of them. Like the way that they kind of like dropped those hints, but like looking back, like I feel like an idiot looking back. But I was like, oh. Then I was like able to put it together. And yeah, I think honestly he's like pretty cool, a little annoying, but I kind of got to get over that because I don't want to be like that one person that, you know, is so picky. Because okay, little short story time. I got a DM from this guy who listened to the podcast. I don't remember which episode it was, but he told me that I'm too picky and that I don't know what I'm talking about and I should not have a podcast where I review TV. And I was like, okay, couple steps back there, dude. I mean, I feel like if I'm not picky, then like it's not going to be interesting. Like you got to keep it interesting. Like I talk for an hour, and you just
Mm-hmm.
expect me to just be like, "Oh, I liked him," and then like move on. I was just like, okay, I don't know what they were trying to get at. Like I don't know who like, and it was like an account that had 0 followers and 0 following. So I feel like someone made that account specifically to come at me, but
Oh,
very rude of them. Not very happy. Kind of it ruined my vibe. Like I was very upset, but it's
so
okay.
say that you can't critique without critique. That's
Yeah, like I don't understand like what their point was, but I was like, "Oh, thanks for the feedback. If you don't like my podcast, you don't have to listen." That's what I literally said, and they left me unseen. So,
fun.
fun, yeah. Love getting hate. But yeah, so exciting. Okay, so yeah, if you guys ever think I'm being too critical, I probably am, and honestly, it's my podcast, so I can do whatever I want, right? Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
moving on. So next, we can talk about who do we still? Oh, we still have to. I guess we could talk about Jen, aka Jennifer, who ends up being Guinevere. So Guinevere also, I always, as a child, always thought it was Genevieve.
Okay, that's what I thought it was too. And I was going to talk about the name correlation in this movie. And I was like, oh, I'm pulling out all these examples. And it's Jen and Genevieve. And I was like, wait, it's Guinevere.
Yeah.
Ah.
So I thought that too. At the end, I was like, oh, that's interesting. And so I was like, oh, I should have known. Like, I should have been able to pick that up. Like, Miles and Merlin are close.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, but I know I'm saying it right, Guinevere, because that's how they say it in Once Upon a Time. And, like, I'm assuming Once Upon a Time is right because that's, like, a huge show. And so I thought that too. I was like, oh my gosh, Jen. And then I was like, Genevieve. And I was like, no, Guinevere. I was like, I just like caught myself up in that. But I feel like they tried to make it work. And I think that's like I mean, they could have done like Gwen instead of like Jen.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Jen ends up being Guinevere. And so Jen, we don't get too much from her. We see her with Will because they're dating in the beginning, kind of a little snotty in the beginning. And then she ends up going out with Lance. And who do you think he is? Lancelot. Ooh,
Ooh.
how did we know? And so they go out together, and Lance is also really annoying. So I feel like, and then Jen, she was also slightly annoying in that sense because like she was like cheating, which is not cool. But I was like, oh, okay. But other than that, I didn't like hate her. Definitely didn't love her. You didn't get too much to go off of, and she always seemed to like have like a dirty look in her eye whenever she was looking at our main character. What's her name?
Kinda, yeah.
Allie. I don't know. I feel like I don't have like good things to say about her. Definitely don't have bad things. It was just like weird.
Yeah. Yeah,
What
I
did
don't
you
really
think?
have much to say about her or about Lance because I mean, they were secondary characters, but they were also both important because then they get to the essay topic scene at the
Mm-hmm.
beginning, and the teacher, Mr. Moore, who I assume we'll talk about soon.
Probably next.
Yep, that he was like, "Ooh, you get to talk about the tragedy of Camelot, where Lancelot and Guinevere are together, and it kind of like crushes Arthur's spirit." And I was like, "Ooh, I smell drama
Oh
coming."
my gosh, yes. I wrote that down. I was like the tragedy, and then when it connected to the plot, I was like, "Oh." So that also like that's I feel like the misdirection in that sense was that she was with Will, but Will wasn't Arthur. Like it kind of
Mm-hmm.
made it seem. So they did a really good job at that. They did a
Yep.
really good job at that, and I applaud. I feel like, to be honest, it would have made more sense to have Will be Arthur, but we can
Mm-hmm.
say like when we like go to the end and say like what we would change because I don't want to like get yelled at by like the DMers like coming at me. So up next, we can talk about Steve Valentine's character, Mr. Moore. Steve Valentine, side note, I love him. He was in so many different things. Teen Beach movie as the villain. That one movie I'm blanking. I talked about it with Sylvia. Wizards of Waverly Place, the movie. So many movies. I honestly love him, and he's like iconic. And he was also in the Disney XD show I'm in the Band, if anyone knows that show. And so his character is the teacher, and throughout the entire movie, they portray him as the good guy, like the good teacher, like just helping his students. He has like a really cool sense of humor, really connecting with the kids. But the first red flag was when he asks for the book about the Order of the Bear and like wants to read it, like steal it, not steal it like intentionally from the family, Allie's family. Like I don't know how she didn't pick up on that.
Yeah, I guess. Well, here's your spoiler alert. Throughout the whole thing, you do have that misconception that Marco's the bad guy, and so you get
Yeah.
that, and she sees that too. So she gets that trust with the teacher, but lo and behold, we find out that that's not the case, and we'll give you a slight little hint. His name is Mr. Moore. So
What
see what
goes with
character
that?
what character goes with that.
Oh my
And of
god.
course,
I can't believe I didn't figure it out. Like I feel so dumb now.
yeah, that's the twist I knew about. And
Yeah,
so I was watching the whole thing and I was like, ooh.
I still don't know like how I didn't pick up on it because I feel like it was so obvious. Oh my gosh, I feel very dumb. But also, to be honest, it was like 8 o'clock in the morning, so I was like I just woke up from bed. We have no school today. That's why me and Abby are recording. We also didn't have school the last time we recorded, so it's like a trend. But
We should record more often, get more days off of school.
oh yes, that would be amazing. I need more days off of school. I really do. And so I woke up and I was like, oh my gosh, I totally forgot I'm recording a podcast today. I better go not read, watch the movie. So I did. And we're here. I was able to finish it. And then I had like a quick prelim call, like I said, for that interview that I'm going to be doing. But yeah, so that is Mr. Moore. Very kind of like very misguided. I was so misguided. I was like, oh my gosh, he's the good guy. Love him. And no, that's not the
Nope.
case. And he also like comes out and like in the end, he like once he falls in the orchestra pit and then like he like suits up in like this armor, I guess you could say. And then like his hair is like super long and it's like really weird. It was a really weird scene.
Yeah, but okay, the armor, the costumes. Oh my goodness, I want all that because it's all cool.
I know the costumes were really good. I think just the thing that was really awkward with, especially with his character, was his hair. And like they did like a really weird scene of like him like waving his hair and like there was like fans blowing. It was really weird. And the camera angles, it was just really weird and kind of like awkward. But he like comes up and like he flies up and he's like this giant stick and it was, which also was his cane throughout the entire movie. So like I feel like I can't believe I didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
It was just like, right there in front of me. And I was just like, oh my gosh, he's such a good guy. I love him.
Yeah,
Very
and then of course
misguided.
we have the fancy showdown scene at the end.
Yeah, that scene in like they show have that huge showdown, and then like after that, I got really confused because then it looked like they were in Camelot
Mm-hmm.
at the very end, and I was like, "Whoa!" I'm still a little confused to be honest, but I guess
Yeah, just
it's
kind of where
Disney
that flip
Channel.
comes from.
Yeah, we can't like be too like into it. And I guess really the last main character, since we already kind of talked about the parents when we talked about Allie, will be Lance, aka Lance a lot, who is the one that Jen is cheating on Will with, and he is just very annoying. He's very much like Marco, like him and Marco are like on the same team, I guess you could say. They like literally and figuratively because they're on the football team. But I was like kind of irritated with him in that one scene where he like said something. I don't know what he said to Allie, and I was like, oh, wait, what? He was just like very annoying, and I was just getting irritated because honestly I was kind of thinking that he might be the Mordred too. I don't know how's it Mordred.
Yeah,
Um,
Mordred.
yeah, I was kind of thinking that maybe he might be.
Huh? Yeah.
I don't know why, guys. I was so misguided. I feel so dumb, but it's okay. It's okay. I love it.
Hey, that's
Um,
the brilliance of this movie. Like they genuinely do a really good job with it.
yeah, like and like the names too. I feel like if I maybe were to just blame it how good the movie was written, book wise, I wouldn't care. But like the fact that it was all right in front of me just makes me feel so dumb. But it's okay. We'll move on. Yeah, and then also the one thing about Lance is he when he's like cheating, like he doesn't like see any problem with it. Like someone, I think it was Allie, like literally saw them making out in like the bathroom at like a party. And I was like, "Wait, why don't you care?" And he was like, "Oh, don't tell anyone." But he didn't care. Like
Yeah.
his morals were not very set straight, I guess.
'Cause, I mean,
But
Jen was the one like racing after her and like, oh no, like
yeah,
here's the reason. Please don't
Jen was
tell. We
like,
don't
"Oh
want
my
to
gosh, no, no,
crush.
no, no, no." Yeah,
But
Jen.
then Lance was just kind of like there.
Yeah, he was just one of those characters that was just there. No development, no whatsoever. But still didn't hate him as much as some of the other characters, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess we can get into the plot from the beginning. Like what's the song? We did it for theater class. Do re mi fa sol from The Sound of Music. Let's start from the very beginning. A very good place to
Oh
start.
my goodness. I don't need those
Throwback.
memories.
I mean, I haven't. I thought about our theater performance the other day, and I was like, I wish I had the video. I
I don't
wish I
know. They
had
might
the
still be
video.
saved somewhere.
I think it's definitely safe somewhere. I just want to know where it is because I want to see how bad our Hamilton one was. Oh my gosh, no, love it. Okay, from the beginning, we start off. This movie starts like really cool, I guess. And so we meet Allie, and she's going to go to Avalon High, which is basically, like we said, like a restaging, like a school that's based, supposed to look like it's in the medieval times. It also takes place in like present day 2010, I would say, which is like,
Mm-hmm.
ooh, cool. And so then she meets so many cool people, which end up being reincarnations from Camelot, which are like Will, Miles, Marco, Lance, lots of cool people. And so they are doing this essay, a partner essay, which I did not know existed. And personally sounds like an absolute nightmare because people don't do their work when you're doing like a PowerPoint. Imagine doing an essay together. Like I've never heard of that. But they had to do a group essay and they like picked a topic, which honestly that's not too bad. I did like in 8th grade, we had this opportunity to write an essay about anything we wanted. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. Like I want to like do an essay about whatever you want. But then they did a little bit of a switch up, and the thing was that you had to pick it from a bucket. And I think I had to write an essay about football.
Oh.
And for anyone who knows me, I definitely am not a huge football person. I don't do football. I don't do it. I'm not interested in it that much. I mean, I have like a favorite team. I personally, it's not the Packers, because I don't like the Packers. For anyone who I don't know, I don't like the Packers, but I do like the Seahawks. And I mean, I'm probably gonna get some hate, but they're this is gonna sound really dumb. Their colors are the coolest, I think. So you guys can all come at me, but for anyone, I just really hate football. I don't like it. I think it's stupid. Oh my god, I'm gonna get so much hate. But it's my podcast, and we respect people's opinions on this podcast for the most part. And so, yeah, back to this character, Will, who is going to be like their quarterback. And so they are determined to save the reincarnation of King Arthur, who they believe is Will, from more bread. I want more bread. Mordred. Guys, it's been a long day. I was up really late last night because my favorite artist, for anyone who knows, is Taylor Swift, and she released her re-recording last night of Love Story for Valentine's Day, because we're recording this before Valentine's Day. And yeah, I was just up really late last night, and so when I woke up this morning, and now I'm just like, I'm really confused. If you guys want more bread, I literally said more bread. I'm embarrassed at this point. So now to Avalon High, where she is part of that essay with Miles, and they study at her house. And like from the parents actually wrote the book. So like my question is, this might be a little too critical of a question, but I feel, do we think that the parents knew that was going to be their daughter was King Arthur reincarnated?
I don't think they necessarily knew it was going to be their daughter.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Because I guess at the end they were like, oh, like the meteor shower happened. Like there's a meteor shower that kind of signifies the reincarnation. They were like, oh, there's the meteor shower and the eclipse and nothing happened. And then you kind of see Allie and Miles smile towards each other. So I don't think they knew it was going to be her.
Mm-hmm. But I agree.
They knew something was going to happen.
I was like kind of like thinking that. I was like, do we think that they know? No, they didn't know, because I feel like they just didn't know. So they wrote the book that they're studying off of, and he has another vision, which we kind of skipped over the track thing, where she becomes like the fastest runner they've had in years. Yay, sports.
Yeah.
And so then Miles has another vision and is like, you need to go get ice. Where's ice? And then like he gets it really quick and then comes back before she can hit her knee. And she's like, wait, how did you know that? And it was like really weird because like she didn't pick up on it because she was just kind of clueless in a nice way. Kind of clueless.
A little bit.
Yeah, and so now she starts getting closer, and now she starts experiencing these weird visions as well. She's turning into Miles a little bit, And these visions are so weird, because like you have like they're like one time they're at a football like practice, and then you see them like becoming the swords, like holding the swords and the armor, and it was like really weird. And at first I was like so confused, like what was like happening, like what's gonna like what are they foreshadowing, because like I said, I hadn't seen this movie before, at least that I remember, and I did not know any of the plot spoilers, etc. But I was just like, what? Wait, what? I was really lost. Since clearly I'm still lost. But it was really good. It was good. And so now they're seeing these visions. And so now they go to this party after a game, and like Miles is like, you shouldn't go to this party, because he's kind of like the good boy, I guess you could say. I consider myself to be like the good boy, like follow the rules, like no party thing. And he's like, and then they go in, and then they see Jen and Lance having like an affair, I guess. I mean, they're not married.
I don't know if I consider it an affair, but
I mean, we'll call it an affair because I'm trying to like switch up my vocab on the podcast. So we're going to call it an affair. And so now that they find out about this prophecy that's coming. And then, like, also, we skipped over this really funny scene, and I feel bad, with the parents after her first day. And the dad goes, "Did someone float your boat?"
Century up.
Yeah, that's what she said. And I was like, I was dying. I was dying. I was like, oh, and like she's like, wait, what do you mean? And then she's like, century up. And then he like said something different, and it was just so funny. Like he was like trying to hint at like maybe a potential boyfriend, I guess.
Yeah.
And like it was just super funny to me, and I was like dying because I feel like my dad, that's something my dad would say. Did somebody float your boat? And then they learn about a secret prophecy from a secret page in the book. And I was kind of thinking, like, when they mentioned that there was a secret page, that maybe like the Mr. Moore had taken the page, but like it was like hidden inside the page, which was like really weird. And they find out that it's like what happens is there's going to be an eclipse, and then there's going to be a meteor shower, and that is going to be the beginning of the reincarnation. And yeah, that was really weird. I was really weird, honestly. But the best part, I don't actually, that's arguably not the best part, but there's like a scene of her going in like the woods to meet with Will, and like they run, and they play a song in the background, which is the song Battlefield by Jordin Sparks. And for anyone who knows me, I love Jordin Sparks, one of my favorite artists. She's like a 2000s pop artist. Just one of my favorites. She was in Waitress on Broadway. She starred as Jenna. Just one of my favorites. And so I did not know her song was in there. So when I heard it, I was like, oh my gosh. I was like freaking out. So I was like, kind of cool. But yeah, so I'm also surprised that like they didn't like do like this weird thing that they do in DCOMs where they re-record music with the Disney stars to put in the background. Like
Oh.
one time, I don't know what song they like did like Brenda's song, if you know who that is. She like did a re-recording for Wendy Wu, and it was like really bad.
Oh.
And like usually they do that in DCOMs because like then they can like avoid like paying royalties.
Yeah.
But I guess Jordin Sparks was fine with them using her song, and I'm glad that they didn't like do a bad re-recording because I love Jordin Sparks. But moving on from Jordin Sparks, because I could talk about her for a long time, we can talk from there. They go on this run, and she tries to kind of explain like this little thing to him, but he does not believe her whatsoever. And I was irritated with him at that point.
Yeah, it was kind of like just listen for like 2 seconds, man.
Yeah, he was just like, I don't believe it. Like that's not gonna happen. And I was like, wait, dude. And like this, well, I guess maybe the reason he didn't believe it, and like kind of more of that misguiding thing, is because he's not Arthur.
Yeah.
So maybe
I don't know. Like, I don't know. You want him to listen because like you think you know he's Arthur, and then he doesn't, and I don't know. It's kind of frustrating unless you know what's actually going on.
Yeah, which I did not because I was clueless, but whatever. And so now from there, they actually try to get help from Mr. Moore because, he's the good guy, or so we thought. I personally would not enlist the help of a teacher like him for some reason. I did get weird. They try to make him the good guy, but he still gave me weird vibes.
Mm-hmm.
Just like kind of slightly creepy vibes. I don't know.
Kind
Maybe
of, yeah.
I don't know if it
There's a
was
little
just
bit of
me.
apprehension.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, I'm glad I wasn't alone. But then from there, they realize that that's going to happen at the big game, and then Will has to win the game because they needed to add another layer on there to gain a scholarship. Yay, scholarships.
Yeah.
Sports scholarships. Woo. And from there, then Allie's like, no, there's an affair. And he also doesn't believe that. Because, like, he doesn't believe anything. He's, like, very clueless. Very clueless.
Yeah.
In a nice
Oh,
way.
yeah.
In a nice clueless.
Yeah.
Like, a nice clueless. And so from there, they go to school, and then what happens as he sees Lance and Jennifer, or Jen, or Guinevere, whatever you want to call her, together, and then he like takes off, and then they have to like go chase him afterwards, and now they're in the forest, and then she's like, "You are King Arthur," and he's like, "No, I'm not," and it was like, seriously, dude, just listen. I was getting irritated with him at that point. I was
Yeah.
like, dude, come on. Like, they didn't even have that much time left in the movie at this point. They were like, I think they only had like 20 minutes, maybe 30. There was like not that much time left. I was like, dude, just listen and shut up.
Yeah, and
In
it
like
was
a
all it
nice
was all
way.
this like, oh, you're giving me pep talks for football. Like, I gotta be
Yeah.
like Arthur. I gotta lead my
Yeah.
team, and it's
That
like, oh my
irritated me so
goodness.
much. No, I 100% agree. Because he's like, oh, yeah, I get it. You're telling me to be like Arthur, like big and bold and strong. And I was like, no, no, dude, no. And now from there, they go and he returns into the game after he disappeared. He forgets his helmet, which is really weird. Then he comes across Jen again, and then Jen is like, "Oh, let me explain. I'm so sorry. Let me explain." Yeah, shut up. And she was annoying. If you couldn't tell, I didn't like her.
Yeah.
And
So another
then
thing I was thinking, I was like, how do you forget? This is the quintessential football game of your career. How do you forget your helmet?
I know it was so embarrassing. I was like really embarrassed.
Anyway, well, plot devices, because without the helmet, he wouldn't be in the theater for the showdown.
Yeah, I guess. And then like from there, like he disappears again because he can't stay in one place for like more than 2 minutes. And then they like crazy stuff goes on, and then they are gonna meet Allie after the game, but then they need to go find him. But good thing that Miles has his psychic abilities to find him. And then he's like, oh, they're in the theater. So then they go to the theater. They find Marco outside injured, and then Will is inside. And then Allie's like, you are Arthur. You are Arthur again. And guess what, guys? Shock, shock. He doesn't believe her.
He's like, oh, what do you mean Marco's the bad guy?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I was
It was a
really
whole
confused.
thing.
Also, I forgot to mention this quote because we kind of like, I don't remember specifically when they said it, but I wrote down, he was like, I want to be a politician. I want to be president of the United States. I was like, oh, okay. I just thought it was really random.
Dream big, kid.
It
Dream
was
big.
so random. No, I was like, wait. Well, where did this come from? Because like at this point, I was still confused about where it took place. And then like when he said the United States, it made a lot more sense. But I was like, oh, okay. Dream big, dude. Dream big. I knew a girl that wants to be one of my friends from grade school wants to be the first female president. But I don't know. Each day we get closer and closer. But we'll see. I was like, it was kind of funny because she was like the only person I know that wants to become president. It's just too much work. Too much work. Not worth it.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh my gosh, I just breathed into the mic. That's so horrible. I'm sorry, guys. I'm gonna have to edit that out. But yeah, so ew. Yeah, that was just so funny. He's like, I want to be, oh, you want to be a politician? And then this line, I wrote it down. He was like, no, that politician. I was like, wait.
It would be the politician.
Yeah, it was really weird. It was weird. That was like, I think, the weirdest line of the movie, possibly. But it was just so random. I don't know where he got that. And I guess then it was kind of like leading to be like, oh, if he's the president, he's kind of like the king. Oh, but
Mm-hmm.
he's not. He's not the king, guys.
Plot
They
twists.
misguided you. So now they're back into the theater, whatever. And so now they tell the truth, but Mr. Moore comes out of the darkness and he's like, "No, I'm I'm gonna say it just right. I'm gonna say it. Mordred. Mordred?
Mordred.
Mordred.
More
At
bread.
least I didn't say more bread. And he's like, I'm Mordred. And he's like, Marco, that is Marco is the order of the beast before he died. And then he's continued to swear on his father's job to protect Arthur. And it's so weird. And then all of a sudden, like she like pushes him into the orchestra pit, which as a kid, when I used to do plays at a school that had a huge orchestra pit at the edge of the stage and like had a runway out into the audience, and I was always afraid I was going to fall into the orchestra pit.
Oh
Never
no.
never happened. Never happened. However, I was just laughing when they pushed him in, and he like it was funny. And then so then he comes back like out of this thing. So then Allie grabs a sword, like a random sword, and like points it at him, and it starts changing into Excalibur. And then everyone's like, "Whoa, whoa, what is going on? How could it be?" Well, it definitely could be because she is the reincarnation of King Arthur.
Dun dun dun.
I was really shocked. I can't believe I didn't pick up on it sooner. But I feel like the thing that really is confusing is because she's the reincarnation, but like they refer to her as like King Arthur. Wouldn't it be Queen to you? I was really slightly irritated, and like they gave like 2 seconds of explanation, like how it like any sword that is in the hands of King Arthur turns into Excalibur.
Yeah, I was kind of like, okay. So we
Okay.
have this nice little plastic sword.
Yeah.
Whoosh.
And then she's the real incarnation, and now they have a duel in an alternate reality, aka potentially Camelot, potentially not Camelot, maybe the United States. I don't know. I really don't know. Where we have Will, Marco, Miles, and Lance. They are present and fighting. And so, with Merlin's help, aka Miles, we have Allie successfully, aka King/Queen Arthur, defeating the evil Mordred.
Mm-hmm.
I said it right on the first
Yeah.
try. Yay. It only took me like the whole episode. And so then from there, they go back into the theater, which is actually in the United States, can be confirmed. And so then they detain him. I should specify Mr. Moore, the Mordred. Oh, 2 times. We're going 2 for 2. Yay.
Yeah.
And so then they like tell him that the prop sword was real, and then they go and finish the football game, and then they go to state. I'm assuming he probably gets the scholarship. Miles now embraces his powers, and then I'm pretty sure he gets a girlfriend at the end. I don't remember who it is though.
I just some random character, I think.
I wrote down Miles' girlfriend. Very helpful for me. But he got a girlfriend, and then at the end, Will and Allie, after crushing on each other for the whole movie, finally kiss.
Mm-hmm.
Took them long enough. I mean, I feel like I honestly thought it was going to happen right away, but then like Jen was in the way, annoying Jen. But and then at the end, they are gathered around a round table. Ha ha ha. They're gathered around a round table. I'm so punny. Haha. And they're dressed in their counterparts, and then it ends with Allie, aka King/Queen Arthur. I'm just gonna call her Queen Arthur because I feel like she deserves the title. Riding on a horse as
Yeah.
the king. No, queen. I said I was gonna call her queen, but I said it wrong. But okay. Before we get into like rating, I definitely can say the one thing that they could have done better with this movie as be so much more specific. I was very lost in certain parts of the movie. I don't know if it was just me, but like I was just a little lost. But then honestly, the other thing would be to like give us a little bit more with her as like the queen, because in the end it was so rushed. Like all the stuff that we talked about for the last 10 minutes happened like in the last 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It was really rushed at the end. Like in the middle, it was like kind of slow, but then in the end it picked up so much. I was like, slow down. And then it was over. So I don't know if I'm just being too picky and I'm going to get hate DMs, but that's how I felt.
Yeah, I was, and when I was rewatching it, because I did watch it technically 2.5 times. We're just gonna say two.
You watched it two
And I
times in
was,
preparation?
yep.
Oh my gosh, I could never. My schedule could never.
Well, I watched it like the first night that you messaged me, like, "Hey, we should do this one." And I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna watch it." And then just this morning,
Oh, okay. So
but
like that makes sense.
but yeah, I mean, there were part of it that were rushed because I was watching it and I was like, okay, we still have a lot to get through, and there's only 20 minutes left. Are we
I
sure
know.
we're gonna get through it?
I honestly like paused it and I was like, wait, there's only 10, 20 minutes left, but there's so much still going on. And I was like, how are they going to end this so quickly? However, lo and behold, they did it.
But then
It's
we
it's
got to the sword fighting, and that's the best part.
that is the best part because that's like the only part that had any action. Like, don't get me wrong, great movie, but most of the scenes felt very dry. And then like when you
Yeah.
led up to that big sword fight, whoo, swoosh, and like cool. And then Mr.
Swoosh.
Moore is Mordred, and yeah, I really actually really liked it. Now I have to
Makes me
rate
makes
it.
me miss makes me miss medieval times. If anyone's gotten a chance to go see that, that's a
Medieval
pretty fun
Times,
show.
I've heard of that. Did I go see Medieval Times? I don't know. Maybe. It sounds so familiar. Oh my gosh. I feel like I've heard commercials for it.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
It's pretty fun. Okay, well, when I get the chance, I better go. Oh, I just saw like I just looked it up and like they're doing shows during the pandemic.
I don't know when they're supposed to start opening again, but
And they're doing some in Atlanta, I guess, according to Atlanta News Now.
oh, all right.
I don't know how you get masks in the medieval times, but how do you get masks in the 30s is our question of the day. Well, we'll figure it out. So, yes. Okay. Now we have to rate it. So, for anyone who is new to the podcast, first off, I'm glad you made it through almost the entire first episode that you're listening to. However, I am a very, very tough rater here on the pod. Very tough. I have also gotten some DMs about that, saying I'm too tough. But if I had to give this movie a rating out of 10, I would have to give it like a 7.
All right.
Okay, now I'm very curious because you sound disappointed. What
No, no,
did you
no,
give
no, no.
it?
I was gonna bump it up one and say 8. Like,
Oh,
I
okay.
mean, comparing it to Secret Society, which was the last episode that I was on, I did like it better.
I liked it a lot better. I really did. I don't know. I don't remember what I gave that movie off the top of my head. I need
Neither
to
do
start
I.
keeping track. I really need to. I say this every time I give a rating. I need to start keeping track. So I don't really have much to do over this weekend. So I'm probably going to go back and like try to find my rating in every episode and like spreadsheet it because I'm obsessed with spreadsheets. But I'm gonna like spreadsheet it and then like I can like finally see like where my things lie. I would actually give it a 7.5. I'm gonna give it a 7.5.
Yeah,
I
because
would say.
I genuinely liked it. I mean, it was corny at parts, but it wasn't like, oh, this is a typical young adult film. Like,
No,
we're gonna throw all that stuff in
I
there.
really liked it. I really did. I think the best part is you didn't know what was gonna happen
Mm-hmm.
because you thought you did, but you didn't. And I think that really set it apart. And I feel like the plot in general just set it apart, like from other
Yeah.
DCOMs compared to like high school. Like I mean, they were in high school, but it was unique. It was different, and I definitely think it's a super underrated DCOM. So if you haven't seen it yet, go check it out on Disney Plus. And also, if you listen to this whole episode without watching it, I don't understand people like you. I'm being super nice. Like whenever I listen to like an episode of like a fellow Disney Channel podcast, I always watch the movie, like scheduling allow, obviously. But like I feel like I can't listen to people talk about a movie for an hour when I've not seen it. But that might just be me. That might just be me. I don't know. I'm gonna get
I
so
don't
much
know.
hate from this episode.
I like to be in the know, so
Yeah,
I
I
guess I
like
would
to
do that
know.
too.
I don't know. I just feel like I like to know. I think I did listen to one without like seeing the movie in a while, and I was like really lost. So then I ended up stopping at watching it and going to like watch the movie, or I would say listening to podcasts because you listen, not watch, to watch the movie. So, oh my gosh, I made no sense in that sentence. Welcome to That So Matthew, everyone. Also, my age-old question. I don't know if we did this in the last episode, considering that one was really new. But if this movie like came out in like Disney Channel in 2021, do we think it would do as good? And honestly, I think it might because this movie feels really timeless, considering it's based off of an
Yeah.
ancient fairy tale.
And it's that nice mix of not just like, oh, modern high school, but it's also got that mix of fantasy in there too.
Yeah, I really like that too. Like I said, it just set itself apart compared to like other movies. So, oh my gosh, you probably heard that. I just went on Instagram to go check the questions that people sent, and like a video like popped up. So the first question was, did we read the book? We did not read the book. However, I'm slightly interested to read it now, so maybe I might. I don't
Yeah,
know.
same here.
But the other question was, did you like the medieval themes in this movie in general, or is it not your style?
Oh,
Uh,
it is very much my style.
yeah, I feel like you're the perfect one to like answer this question. It definitely seems up your alley. So I mean, since you
Yep.
went to medieval times, like I want to go now, honestly.
Yeah, but I mean, we kind of hit it right on the hit. I tried so hard to think of the expression and I couldn't
Hit
think
it
of
like
it.
on the nail, is that what it's called?
Yeah, on the nail. Um, like between last one with like superheroes and superpowers, and then this one with medieval and fantasy, and just like we're like picking the perfect ones.
Yeah, I think I honestly really liked this movie because of the medieval, like the themes. Because
hmm
without it, it would have been the same old thing that we've seen in almost every single DCOM as I continue to make my way through the list. And I'm really glad. I don't remember who suggested it off the top of my head. But if you were the one who suggested this, thank you so much because I can say I think me and Abby both really liked it.
Yeah.
It was just, it set itself apart and was really good. Really good. And I have a lot of appreciation for it.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't going in with I guess many expectations, but I went out and like I genuinely liked it.
Me too. So thank you. I guess that really wraps up this episode of the podcast. That's a Matthew. Abby, do you have anything you want to plug, like your art page or?
Oh my goodness. I feel awkward doing that.
No,
But I
no, do it, do it.
okay. I do art on Instagram. You can find me at everything_arts with an S at the end and then 235.
Yeah,
So
art.
I do a lot of Disney art there. I also, I guess, yeah, a bunch of Disney stuff and then some musicals themed stuff as well.
Yeah. So make sure to go follow the account. It'll also probably be linked in the show notes below for you guys to make it easier for you guys to find it and probably like tagged on Instagram. I guess that's my time to do my plugs. So follow me on Instagram at that. So Matthew to DM me. Please no hate is much appreciated. Or you can find me on Twitter at that so Matthew1. I really suck at tweeting though, so that's probably not the best place. You can follow me on TikTok at that so Matthew. What else? There's more, but I can't think of it. You can go to my website, that'smatthew.com, and check out all the fun stuff on there. My blog, the merch, learn a little bit more about me. Join the email newsletters if you guys are interested in stuff like that. Oh my gosh. I just looked up my website and it's like really wonky right now, so I have to go fix it. But go check out my website. What else? I think that's it. Thank you guys so much for listening to this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I definitely enjoyed talking about this film. If you guys want to hear more from Abby. You guys can go check out our other episode that we did, which was episode 58, Secret Society of Second Born Royals. I'm pretty sure that's the correct title.
I was going to say, yeah, I think we got it this time.
Finally, I called it the wrong movie pretty much the entire episode last time, but go check it out. And maybe like if there's another movie similar that you guys would like to hear us talk about, send it our way and maybe we'll make it happen, because I'm always looking to talk about more DCOMs here on the pod. So thanks again, Abby. Thank you guys for listening, and I hope you guys have a great day. Bye.
Bye.